that when most people hear the word mindful, sadly, they think of meditation. Meditation is great, but it's not mindful. You meditate in order to result in post-meditative mindfulness, okay? So it's a practice. Mindfulness, as I study it, is a way of being. It's not a practice. It's the simple process of noticing. Now, you can get there in one of two ways. Bottom up, actively notice 3 new things about the person you live with. Walk outside, notice 3 new things. Each time you do this, you see that you didn't know the thing you thought you knew as well as you thought you knew it. But you can also do it top down. Top down is recognize that everything is always changing. Everything looks different from different perspectives. Uncertainty is the rule, it's not the exception. So when you know you don't know, then you naturally tune in. So one of the things, I've said this so many times, maybe this will be the last. One of the things we think we know best is, how much is 1 + 1, Andrew?
I'm going to assume it's still 2.
2. Not always. If you add 1 wad of chewing gum to 1 wad of chewing gum, 1 + 1 is 1. You add 1 cloud to 1 cloud, 1 + 1 is 1. This is interesting. Somebody sent this to me the other day. You take 1 pizza and you add 1 pizza, 1 + 1 is 2. You take 1 lasagna and you add 1 lasagna, 1 + 1 is 1. It's just a bigger lasagna, right? You take 1 puddle and you add, let's say I have 2 puddles there, and you add some water in between. Now you have 1 + 1 + 1 is 1. Okay, so the point of it is that in the real world, 1 + 1 probably doesn't equal 2 as more often as it does. And since you're an educated individual, you might know that 1 + 1 equals 2 if you're using a base 10 number system. If you're using a base 2 number system, 1 + 1 is written as 10. Oh my goodness. Somebody asks you, how much is 1 + 1? Should you say 1, 2, 10? The point is that when you know you don't know, then you pay attention. In this context, let me see, I'll be a smart ass and I'll say 1. Or in this context, I know the person wants me to be obedient and I'll say 2, so on and so forth. So when you don't know, you pay attention. When you pay attention, you have choices that otherwise you're blind to. It makes a very big difference. So when you're mindful, you don't know, you actively notice. As you're noticing, the neurons are firing, and 50 years of research has shown that it's literally and figuratively enlivening. And if you're going to do something, show up for it. Now, the problem is that most people are mindless almost all the time, and they're totally oblivious to it. When you're not there, you're not there to know you're not there. And most people are just not there. Now you want to ask me, how does that happen? Well, we're taught that. Schools, I think, are the biggest culprits. Schools are teaching us absolute answers. 1 + 1 is 2. Virtually everything that we're taught is as if the world is constant and going to stay that way. And the answer today is going to be the same answer as tomorrow. And so that certainty leads us not to notice.
I woke up early this morning, and my first thoughts of the day, I like to think have some importance for something. Who knows? It's when my mind seems clearest for at least a nanosecond. And my first thought was that the pattern that I seem to be perpetually in is one of whatever I'm doing, unless I'm podcasting or reading a research paper, that my mind is constantly flitting to the other things that I think I should be doing.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's sad, and it's something I've been working on for a very long time. And I'm able to hold my, for lack of a better word, attention on things to accomplish tasks, and in my life, and to be present with people, as it were. But I thought,
well, no, let's go back a step, because we both said it was sad. Why is it sad? I'm reconsidering.
Yeah. Well,
that to be able to think of 5 different things instead of 1.
It's dreadful.
Could be an asset.
It's right. It could be an asset. I think that for me, what I realize is most of the shoulds are just total lies.
Yeah.
They don't. And also they
exactly,
don't. They're just lies. Like
yeah.
they're not actually coming from a script. I'm not hearing other people's voices in my head. You should do this. It's not parental narrative or anything. It's just contamination of a useless type. It's not like listening to the radio. I used to listen to the radio while I'd like make dinner or something, and it was so pleasant, right? Hear an evening discussion about the news or a talk show or whatever on the radio while cooking, and so that kind of quote unquote distraction felt really meaningful. I felt like when I lived alone, that I had other people in the room with me. This is different. It feels as if it detracts from some essence of the behavior that I'm in, even if the behavior is just getting out of bed in the morning.
Wait, so let me be clear. You get out of bed or start to get out of bed and you have several thoughts.
Yep.
And those thoughts bother you? Or they prevent you from getting out of bed?
No, but they feel intrusive. They don't feel welcome. Like, because I know what I'm going to do each day. I have a policy for myself of doing one work thing each day, maybe in 1 or 2 blocks, and I try and really put everything I have into those. It's kind of a recent evolution of not trying to do 3 things in a day. Maybe it's a function of getting older, but I get so much more satisfaction and get truly so much more done from just doing one thing in my work life each day. I don't even
understand the one thing idea, that people talk about multitasking, which is what you're saying, and you're better not to multitask, but you're always multitasking, right? I mean, I'm moving my hands while I'm talking to you, and I'm sort of thinking and, fixing my back in the seat. There are always lots of things going on. And I think that also tasks, so let's say you're a kid and you're doing your social studies homework, and then you're doing your math homework. And you go back and forth. So are you multitasking? It depends. If you see yourself as multitasking, then you're drawing boundaries between your math and your social studies. If you see yourself as doing homework, it's all part of the same thing. And so there's always a way that the task can be grouped as a single unit, or you can see anything as multitasking. When you see it as multitasking, you're suggesting to yourself that there's going to be some conflict. There's some reason I'm leaving this to go to this. If you imagine you're like a glass, and the water is full, or whatever, vodka in this case, that it's full, you can't do more than that. And so if the moment is meaningful, you don't have to be writing that book, being in love, on a vacation in Paris, and so I think we have all these crazy notions, even the idea of, I've talked about this before, work-life balance. Ooh, that's scary to me. What that says, what life really means is some, joy, right? Other than just being, doing work 24/7 or however long people work, not 24/7. What is it? 3.5. Anyway, that it suggests that the work that we're doing has to be aversive. And because it's aversive, the only way to have the good life is to add this fun time. And I think that's sad. I think it's sad that people think life has to be stressful, that work has to be unpleasant. That no matter what you're doing, I believe there's a way of doing it so that it's fun.
Thanks for watching. If you found this information helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more health and wellness tips.